years of Rob Brindamore and the Carolina Hurricanes building to this moment. I don't know that there's a coach in the league that more embodies the way their team plays than Rob Brindamore.
Well, he's the face of the franchise, and he really has been since he captained in 2016 at age 35 to the Stanley Cup final. John Tortorella offers his congratulations. And just the fourth man to win the Stanley Cup as a team captain and a head coach of the same franchise. And every single person in that picture is a huge part of it. This is a total team effort. Seth Jarvis in tears. You think back when it wasn't that long ago they couldn't have passed the Eastern Conference final. This was their fourth try in 8 years under Rob Brindamore. Some were saying, well, maybe this style just doesn't work as well in the playoffs. It certainly worked well for the Florida Panthers. And now Carolina has taken it all the way to the Stanley Cup.
There's Freddie Anderson. We saw a glimpse of him, 13 wins before Brandon Bussey took over and the Vegas Golden Knights just gutted. At this point, you get this far and you get nothing for it.
25 straight starts for Carter Hart. He appears to be in tears. His season took off late in the regular season when he returned to action. One Stanley Cup winning captain hugging another. You know, people keep asking Rob Brindamore to compare Jordan Staal to him, and Rob is so reluctant to say anything about himself. But they're a lot alike, aren't they?
They really are. They're tough. They play with team first. They're just driven. They're leaders without words. They're more leader of deed. And the respect between the two of them is immense.
Jordan Staal, a Stanley Cup champion for the second time, 17 years apart. He won it as a 20-year-old. Bussey being congratulated, as is Keandre Miller. The big reason why they got over that hump, Miller. Staal won it in 2009 as a 20-year-old. 17 years in between. It's the longest stretch between Stanley Cup championships for any player in league history. Chris Chelios spent 16 years in between. And now the question is, will he be the Conn Smythe Trophy winner?
The votes are in. They have to be submitted to around the 10-minute mark of the third period. The voters are able to put contingencies in if something crazy happened.
It would be for the entire playoffs, not just the final. It was all about the final. It would definitely be Staal with Brandon Bussey. The first shutout to clinch the Stanley Cup since Andrei Vasilevsky did it in 2021 against Montreal. And the last rookie first-year goalie with a shutout in a cup clincher was Earl Robertson in 1937. You can't make it up. Disappointment for Jack Eichel. Been a remarkable year for him. Married last August, expecting their first child, an Olympic gold medalist, but wanting desperately to win the Stanley Cup for the second time. Sebastian Aho, all-time leading scorer in playoff history for the franchise. Mitch Marner. Much different story right here in the playoffs. Year one in Vegas than the 9 years in Toronto. His future is bright.
Yeah, it was brilliant here. The leader offensively for them. And the last 3 games got really quiet for Marner. And, you know, you got to think of one other thing when I look at these offensive players and they get shut down. There were 7 shutouts in the playoffs. Carolina had 4 of them. Freddie Anderson had 3. And Brandon Bussey puts the ribbon on this all with a shutout in Game 6.
A lot of respect between those two. Will this be the last time we see John Tortorella behind an NHL bench? No guarantee he'll be back next season with Vegas. Here's Emily with Jordan Staal.
Jordan, 17 years after you last lifted